Welcome to Fans of the Forge. I'm Chris. To my right we have
Teresa.
And to my left we have
I'm Sean.
And our special guest calling in via Skype today we have Connor Myers. What? I messed that up.
Julius Myers-Norton.
Say that one more time.
My whole name is Connor Julius Myers-Norton.
Perfect. I'm not going to repeat it because I'm not going to get it right. I know that seems easy, but
He's terrible.
I'm bad with memory and bad with everything. So let's just. But thank you for coming on with us and contacting us after we put a wrap up of your episode. I had to go in as soon as I saw you comment on it. I was like, oh man, Sean and I. We were not happy at the end of this wrap-up episode, and I want to make sure that we clarify that we weren't mad at you. We were just...
you guys got robbed.
So there is that. I mean, Teresa's been kicking our butt all season with her picks for the episode, so it's like, you never know what's going to happen. We thought we might be able to get a little bit of a comeback, and we ate our own words again. So, yeah. Anyway, so let's get right into our questions here. So Connor, you were on season 5, episode 22 for the Kilij.
Mm-hmm.
And our first question for you was, when you found out you were going to be on the show, or prior to going to the show for the episode recording, did you do anything to prepare for it?
They called me 3 days before I went up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it didn't leave you very much time to prepare then, I'm assuming.
It gave me just enough time to panic and buy a whole bunch of supplies.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
But before that, I had been, generally timing myself while I worked, and I could produce blades within the required time period, so I wasn't worried.
Cool.
And you do move at a very fast pace from the way that you showed it in the episode. Like, you even said that's your normal pace is moving quickly and getting stuff done. So
I was actually done the first challenge a little over 45 minutes beforehand.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I was sitting on the anvil, and Jay just gave me that look of, you should be doing something, into the sander, and just started polishing my blade more.
Yeah.
What was your first thought when you saw that giant ball bearing?
I was just thankful it wasn't Camster Damascus.
Oh.
Because I've memorized most types of steels because I purchased a $360 textbook on steel. So I memorized the heat treating patterns for most general purpose steels, and I already knew that the heat treating guide for 52100, so I wasn't really worried about that.
Okay, cool. Have you ever forged a large ball bearing before?
No, but I have forged ball bearing raceway, much smaller, but same stuff.
Right. Okay. Did you know any of the other contestants that were on your episode before you got there?
I've talked to Kurt online because he runs a company called Freehill Blades, and I've messaged him a couple times, asked him how he does certain things, that sort of stuff.
Okay.
The next one Chris wrote, I'm going to ask you to ask it.
Oh, I didn't really have a question there. That was just a note more that, so your nickname is the Condor, and you said it was because your long arms. Is that a name you picked up in, like, school, or?
That was picked up in late elementary school, sort of middle school at the time.
That's a pretty good nickname.
It is.
There's worse nicknames to pick up in middle school.
The length of one of my arms is over 36 inches, so...
Did you play basketball or anything?
Both arms.
Were you good in any sports because of that?
Not at all.
No. Okay. All right.
People always expected me to be fantastic at basketball, but I do absolutely nothing. I can dribble the ball, but that's about it.
Oh, okay.
Get in the way.
So should I go? All right. So, when you lost the pen cap and you asked Brian if it was in your hair, was that a dig at his glimmering baldness?
No. I misplace all of my tools all the time. I think I have a pen in my pocket right now. Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
I purchase dozens of blue Sharpies because blue is the easiest to see. That's why they use it in die chem. And I just lose them all over the place.
Oh, that's something to take note of.
All right.
When you watched the episode, were you surprised to hear all the judges commenting, including Jay Nielsen's Latin in reference to your water anointing there?
Oh, that. I wasn't very surprised, but the thing that they added for my explanation, that was cut together. That was 100% cut together.
Oh.
I'm rather lengthy in my explanations of things, so they just shortened it up a bit. But it also took out the more pertinent parts where I was explaining that I was using it to judge temperature. Because when you lick water onto a hot blade, it makes a specific pop sound.
Mm-hmm.
And if you memorize the sound of the pop, you know exactly what temperature it's at.
Oh, okay. I think we did something similar when we were working with Theo.
Yeah.
But that was more just to make
Just to
sure
see
it
if
was
yeah.
not too hot to touch.
Right.
But that makes sense.
Yeah, the Japanese use that same technique to figure out their tempering temperatures because they don't use the color because they're in a dark forge. You flick it on there, and when it hits the right temp, it makes a certain pop, and then they quench it back in water, and it's done tempering.
Right.
So, when you grab the wire brush to use as a spacer in the vise, did you even bother to look to see if there was scrap wood around, or was that just the first thing you saw? And
I knew I needed some soft wood to just space out the vise, and the handle, the wire brush handle was 12 inches too long, so cut off an inch or two of it.
Hey,
And
I mean, those things are cheap anyway. I mean, they can get another one.
$10 at the most. But I did make that snarky comment. It was brand new and I wanted to ruin it. I don't remember saying that, but obviously I did.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I was quite dehydrated throughout most of the filming, so I don't know what I was doing.
Oh,
okay.
jeez.
Yeah, I believe that.
We've heard a mixture of it gets ungodly hot, and then some people say, well, it wasn't actually as hot as I was expecting, so you never really know.
I've worked in hotter conditions because I've worked in a school before running 12 forges all at once, and it gets really hot, but it was mostly the anxiety that we had and the fact that we were working every single day until 9:30 at night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah. Was it Teresa's turn? My turn?
We switched.
We're out of
Whatever.
order.
Yeah, whatever. Hey, did you see Mark drop his blade in the quench tank when you were working?
I didn't see anything. I was absolutely tunnel visioned. It was nothing but me and my cameraman. And I was actually spending half of my time just talking to my cameraman. Because when I work and if there's someone near me, I go into teacher mode and I'll just tell them things. So I was just talking to my cameraman, and that's probably half of the reason why they couldn't use my footage.
So, as we were watching it the second time around, I could see that your thumb was actually further from the blade than originally thought when you were doing the saw thing. So, though I am concerned about safety and your safety, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Oh, what are you showing us now?
Yeah, right there. I nearly cut my thumb off with a bandsaw in 2016.
Oh, I think I saw a picture of that posted on your Instagram.
Yeah.
Actually, while we're talking about that, an Instagram question I have marked down here from a more recent one that you posted. You had a pretty nasty cut on your leg, and you had mentioned in the comments of that picture that you were testing a competition chopper on a piece of rope.
Yes I was.
And so what exactly happened?
It cut so well that I overshot and hit myself in the leg.
And so did that actually go down to the bone?
Yeah, it bounced off the bone.
Jeez.
It was really lucky because where it hit, there's a whole bunch of tendons, but it went directly in between the tendons.
Oh, nice.
Oh, you lucked out.
But it did bounce off the bone and didn't leave any chips though.
All right. What were you thinking when they cut an hour off the clock in round 2?
You did mention it during the your synopsis there that I did a little panic a little bit, and it was more than a little bit of panic. It was quite a bit of panic. One of the people on set came by to ask questions, do a tiny little interview, see what my thoughts are, and I was on the belt sander at that moment, and I just turned to him and said, "You need to go away for 10 minutes and let me finish what I'm working on, and then I'll get back to you." 'Cause I could not have any distractions at that moment. And it was in that first 10 minutes that I made my mistake on the handle, which is what hurt Jay's finger.
Oh, okay.
My handle's a lot better than that. I just want to say that. No, not better. It's just when you're working fast on a sander and you're using a belt that you're not used to, it just takes off way more.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I normally do most of my handle work off by hand. All the finish work is done by hand with sandpaper and a sanding stick. It's just the general shaping that's done on the sander. And that's before I even glue it.
Right. Okay.
Oh, wow. That's a lot by hand.
When Jay
It's on a handle sometimes.
when Jay told you your handle was digging in and your blade chipped, did you think you were done for?
No. I've worked with antler before, trying to chop it off of the skull of a deer. It's very difficult, and it even chipped the axe I was using.
Oh.
And if it chips an axe, it's gonna chip a thin knife.
Oh,
Right.
sure.
I knew it was gonna come back with some damage of some sort. It was the handle that I also knew was gonna happen, but it did dig me a little bit because I take pride in my handles. So.
I think they're starting to like this antler chop because they used it in the episode 23 also.
Yeah.
So that might be a thing going forward.
Test.
Yeah, absolute destruction they're going for.
So,
Yeah, on set, they actually gave Jay Nielsen a bit of a nickname. They call him Half Day Jay because if he breaks your knives, they get to go home at a half day.
whoa. Oh, man.
Jeez.
That's a new one. That's a new name we haven't heard from him. Okay, that's interesting. All right, so you did manage to move into round 3 because it was Curtis whose
Yes.
blade broke.
In a perfect world, Curtis should have beaten me. He absolutely should have. He has way more experience than I do.
Right. He got a tough roll of the dice there, I guess, because the way he got that hidden kind of crack in underneath where you can't really tell.
Overshoot the temp just slightly, it throws your hardness way out of whack. I could give you an hour-long lecture on the way that grain size affects brittleness and metallurgy and all that great nonsense, but I don't think that we have that much time.
Not today.
Yeah. But Sean and I, we're on the verge of building our own forge, so one day we might contact you for a little bit of a lesson.
Yeah.
So, for round...
They make some good burners.
Who is that?
I believe it's Atlas Forge Co.
Atlas Forge?
Good.
Oh, okay. We'll check him out.
All right.
Add him to our list of all
Duly
the...
noted.
Duly noted. All right. So for round 3, the quench tank that you used when you were doing the Kilij, did you have to build that prior? Like, did you already have that, or did you build it for the show?
I had to build that from scratch. Just bought some wood, caulked it, screwed it together. It was actually also the same box that I used to ship it.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
I poured the oil out, scrubbed it out, and then plopped the knife in there with some supports and shipped it out.
Oh, perfect.
Well, that brings up a question that we had. Do you have to ship it? Like, do you have to build whatever container, or
You have to build the container, but they put the label on it. They pay for it.
Oh,
so
okay.
you have to build the container? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
In the 5 days?
You have to build it on the last day.
Okay.
So before your camera crew leaves.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only?
Yep.
Which of the 3 tests made you the most nervous?
Definitely the barrel. Yeah, because there are a few things that are harder to break than a sprung oak barrel, and that was a brand new sprung oak barrel.
Oh, yeah.
You can't even get through that with an axe.
Oh, yeah, I believe it. So, that's tough.
Just ask the cops in the 20s.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
All right, who's next? It's me?
Yeah.
Are we going to go down this route? We kind of already mentioned that one a little bit.
Yeah, I guess we don't need that one.
All right. So, as we can see on the video and the Instagram post that you had put up after the show. You got a haircut when you won. Did you end up donating that hair to charity?
Not quite yet. I've been looking around at the different charities because some of them they sell their wigs and some of them they give them away, and I've just been trying to figure out which one's the best one to give it to.
I donate mine to children with hair loss.
Yeah, every few years Teresa chops hers down and donates it. So
yeah, I collected for a couple of years because for the same reasons. But the most recent one, I actually found a site. They take gray hair, they take dyed hair if it's not bleached, and they give it to the kids, children with hair loss. Yay, philanthropy.
Yeah, I wasn't saving my hair for that reason.
Oh.
I was like,
it's probably a similar reason to why I'm growing out the beard. I'm just gonna let it keep going, let it see what it gets to.
You're gonna give it to children?
No. I'm not growing it out for philanthropy.
Oh.
I'm just growing it out to grow it out.
Okay.
I don't think any kids would want this after I'm done with it.
I've decided that I'm going to grow this out until the next time I'm on.
There you go.
Yeah. So how long have you and your partner been running
Igneous Edged Tools?
We've been running it since September 2017.
Okay. So coming up on a year.
Yep.
Awesome.
And that's how long we've been paying taxes for. Unofficially, we've been running it for a little bit longer than that, but we weren't making any money.
Right. When did you start bladesmithing?
I started spending a lot more time learning smithing in general. When was it? I want to say February. It was April of 2015. I had been rejected from the Marine Corps and I needed something to do with my life. So I went and learned smithing.
Huh. It's an interesting path to take.
Yeah. Depression does things to you.
Well, yeah, I mean, you seem to have taken to it, though. I mean,
yeah, you've managed to do a really great job with just a few years of experience there. That's pretty impressive.
Even in high school, I was really into metallurgy and stuff like that, and I had even started making my own armor. I was making chainmail and beating plate into shape.
Oh, wow.
I made a spalder and a set of knee protection. I believe they're called cops or some nonsense like that. I haven't looked into it in a while. But I was going to make a full set of armor, and then I decided it was way too much work.
yeah, it is a lot.
That's a lot. I have no plans for that.
Is there a material and style you prefer when forging blades? Is there a particular material and style you prefer when you forge blades?
Material, I like to use low alloy steel, usually W2 tool steel, which has nothing but iron and carbon in it. And style is sort of a brute to forge, sort of just a work knife style. I do an interesting little integral guard in my knives. It's basically a piece of the handle that's pulled out into more or less a blade shape, but it's just forward of the hand, past the edge of the blade, so it covers your hand up nice. Doesn't rub on you too bad.
Nice. Besides blades, is there a popular thing that you make?
At this moment, I'm making nothing but blades. I used to make spike tomahawks, but that was when I was really starting. Really, it's just blades. I do quite enjoy making swords. I'm working on a couple of them right now. In fact, I just broke one in half yesterday because I was impatient.
Oh, yeah, we saw the picture of that, and I was going to ask you about that one too. So that had to do with an incorrect heat treating.
That was because, well, firstly because I used an unknown steel. I used what was normally called a thermite button. That's what's left over when you weld two pieces of railroad track together with thermite. It flows out the sides and goes into a little crucible.
Oh.
And it makes a really interesting looking steel, but it can be of questionable quality, and I just didn't temper it enough. I should have tempered it to a light blue color, but I just did straw color.
Sean and I, we're looking to build a forge. We've been doing a lot of research. We've been asking everybody we talk to this same question. So beyond taking a class, do you have any other beginner's tips that you could provide?
For making a forge or just for forging in general?
Forging in general.
Go to a class.
Okay.
Honestly, when I first started, I spent 6 months tinkering around in my friend's backyard with a crappy coal forge running anthracite, and I knew absolutely nothing. And I made a pair of tongs, I was beating on railroad spikes, and I was terrible. And after 2 classes, that was 2 weeks, because they were week-long classes, I was far superior to what I had been at just 2 weeks beforehand. But expect blisters. After the first 2 days, you'll have blisters about the size of quarters on your hands.
Oof.
Yeah.
All right.
Most classes, it will be 5 days of continuous forging.
I like it.
Just general practice.
Yeah, we're okay with that. We got to figure out when we could do that.
Yeah.
But
I would, if you're in the East Coast, I suggest Touchstone Center for Crafts. It's the school I was working at, and they have some of the most affordable classes in the area, on the East Coast at least.
whereabouts is that based out of?
It's about 80 miles south of Pittsburgh.
Okay. That's not
It's in the
far from
Laurel.
where we were.
Which is also 8 hours away.
Yeah, it's a long time. Yeah. But,
I drove 6 hours to get there, so.
that's not bad. Well, we'll take it into consideration.
Good information.
Good information.
It has-
Duly noted.
It has one of the best equipped forges in the U.S. It's
Oh, wow.
in the
What do you think of Knife or Death?
Knife or Death. It is a very silly TV show, but they're willing to give people 20 grand. So I would be up for it if they offered it to me.
Cool.
In fact, I'm making one of those swords specifically in case I get the chance.
Oh, cool.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Did you film your episode in Connecticut? Did you film your episode in Connecticut
Or New York.
or New York?
I'm not exactly sure if I'm allowed to tell you that.
Okay.
All right, don't worry about it. We are well aware of shooting locations. Used to be based in New York, and then they have moved to a Connecticut location, which I believe the judges have mentioned a number of times on their Instagram posts and stuff.
Okay. Then in that case, I can tell you I am at their second location.
Got it.
I won't tell you which location that is.
All right, cool. Well, we're based not far from there, so that's why we
Okay.
like to ask to see if.
Don't even ask for tours. They won't let you. They have guards.
Oh,
Interesting.
so fun.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions here?
Was there anything you were hoping to talk about that you wanted us to ask?
Honestly, I'm willing to talk about anything. You could ask me how my day was, and I'd tell you.
Well, how was your day?
Not very productive. I did one thing. I glued handle scales on something.
All right. Well, that's something.
If they don't come off, then it was a day well spent.
I spent my day making PDF files, so that's probably a little better than what I was working on.
Yeah, well, this is my actual job. It is a company that I pay taxes on, so
Right.
I
Yeah.
need to do it at least every other day.
Yeah.
Usually every day, even on my days off. Yeah.
Well, you got to make that paper, right? If that's what
Yeah.
you're doing for work, you got to make that money.
Yeah, making money.
All right. Well, speaking of money, that leads to our final question then. What did you do with the 10 grand that you won?
Currently nothing.
Okay.
I only got it 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
And it took 2 weeks to clear, so
So do you have plans for it?
I'm planning on buying a forge press.
Okay.
Coal Iron Works, if you know what that company is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to buy, I think it's their 16 plus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
Hopefully it fits inside of my shed. 100 square foot shed, and
Yeah.
we measured it out, and it should just fit. We just need to reinforce the floor some.
Will it get through the door?
Tilt it.
Okay.
Tilt.
Wait, I've done that before. I measure the space. I'm like, yes, and then I can't get it through the door to get it to the space.
It's a
Yeah.
double door, but it's only 6 feet tall. The press itself is 7 foot 3 inches, so it needs to go up a ramp anyways. It's going to be tilted.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You should be good. Alrighty. Well, that's all the questions that we had for you. We appreciate you coming on with us and going through your episode and filling us in on some of maybe what we don't see when we watch the episode. That tends to be the most common comment that we get, is that you don't know what's going on because you're not there. So it's always great when we can have somebody come on and tell us.
One thing that I need to mention is that all of those interviews that they do are filmed after everything happens.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you just look at the look on someone's face or how they're speaking, you can pretty much tell what happened to them in that round.
Well, that's good to know. Good to keep in mind.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I guess with that, let's wrap it up. So, your Instagram, I know you have the Igneous Edged Tools Instagram for your company.
Speak correctly, you're good. Most people, when they first see it, think it's ingenious, which actually sounds better sometimes. Yeah.
Do you have any other websites or anything?
I have the company account, Igneous Edged Tools Instagram. There's my personal Instagram, which you can also talk to me through, which is my whole name, Connor Julius Myers-Norton. Actually, it's Connor J. Myers-Norton, sorry. And then there's also the Igneous Edged Tools website, which you can place orders through. It's literally the first thing that pops up when you type in Igneous Edged Tools on Google, so that's good.
Perfect.
It's one of the pros of having a very unique name.
Yeah. No one else says that.
That's true. That's true. Well, thanks again for coming on with us. We really do appreciate it. And, I'm sure we'll contact you if we have some forging questions in the coming months as we put together some our forge here.
You can Instagram me. You can throw something in a comment. I don't know, Skype me. I don't care.
Cool, man.
Awesome.
I'm bored. I'm lonely. No one talks to me.
Lonely condor.
Yeah. I'm just a guy in a shed all day.
Yeah.
That's just literally.
That's an interesting way to think about it. But at least it's a company
Yeah.
that you're working for.
Sounds like fun to me.
Yeah.
Well, it is fun until your shoulders go out and your knees hurt and your back hurts and you have a headache and you have tinnitus. Although I've had tinnitus since I was 12, so that doesn't count.
That's minor details.
And I have a lot of those same symptoms, and I work at a desk all day, so that just comes with age, I guess. But anyway.
Only 22.
Alrighty. We're gonna let you go. Thanks again for talking with us. Thanks everybody for watching the interview. Remember to follow him, check out his page, order some knives from him, and we will catch you in the next interview. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.